Hi, and welcome inside the State Champ Sports Network studios. My name is Lorne Plant. This is Tom Markowski, and we're here to talk about the 12th annual Prep Kickoff Classic. This is actually going to be the 5th year that the game has been played at Tom Adams Field on the campus of Wayne State University. We have just learned the matchups, so this is kind of we're doing with you is a kind of first take as to what to expect this year at the PKC. So let's get right into the matchup, shall we? And first what I'll do is give you the schedule, and then we'll kind of talk about some of the more prominent games that will be taking place this weekend. First off, Thursday, August 25th, Woodhaven will be taking on Lincoln Park. That is a 4 o'clock start. Then the nightcap on Thursday night, the 25th, will be Chippewa Valley taking on Lake Orion. Friday, the 26th, Allen Park will meet Taylor Kennedy at 4 p.m. And at 7 p.m., it will be Canton taking on Dearborn-Fortson. On Saturday, it is a 3-game lineup beginning at noon. And Chelsea will take on River Rouge to kick off Saturday, August 27th. Southfield Academy for the Arts and Technology, that is the new Southfield High School, so you know that. They will be taking on Detroit King at 3 o'clock, and they'll wrap it all up with Detroit Cass Tech and Oak Park. That will be a 6 p.m. start on Saturday, August 27th. So the 25th through the 27th is the weekend. We're looking forward to it. It's always great to have these games in one place. And again, it's a great atmosphere to watch games. Let's talk about a few of the matchups that we have coming up. A rematch from last year will take place on day one, and that is Chippewa Valley and Lake Orion. Chippewa Valley 7-3 a year ago, beat Lake Orion 35-28 last year in the opener, actually made it to the playoffs, lost to Utica Eisenhower last year. Lake Orion, a 4-5 year, certainly a year that they'd be looking back to rebound, and if they could get a win against Chippewa Valley, who should stay in the mix when it comes to playoff chances, that would be a big one.
This is a good measuring stick I think for both teams. Chippewa Valley with Scott Merchant coming back, going against Chris Bell and Lake Orion. I think this is a good one for both teams to see. You know, you got the heavyweights from the MAC and a heavyweight from the OAA. Now, granted, Lake Orion has been down recently. You know, you got to expect the Dragons to come on strong this year.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, let's talk about the nightcap on Friday. Another rematch from last year's PKC, Canton and Fortson. Of course, two tradition-rich teams, two powerhouse. Canton, a fantastic season a year ago, 10-3, made it all the way to the D1 semifinals before falling just barely to Cass Tech in the snow, 48-41. They had a great season. That was a great game. Fortson beat Sterling Heights Stevenson in the playoffs last year. That was an upset in my mind. Did lose to Cass Tech later in the playoffs. Canton won this game at the PKC 42-25 a year ago. Canton was 10-3, Fortson 6-5. What are you looking for out of this matchup?
Two words, Marcus Sanders. I love that running back from Canton. Had a tremendous game in the semifinals despite the loss. And I thought Fortson had a down season last year. I know Walker Zaban, didn't have high expectations, but they also came up with a big first-round win against Stevenson last year, Sterling Heights Stevenson. So I think Fortson's going to have more experience this year. I think this will be a very competitive game.
Yeah, and Canton's one of those teams, they just reshuffle the deck, and they have those big linemen, and they just kind of hand the ball out and just go ahead and find who's got it.
A running machine.
Absolutely. Let's talk about all three games on Saturday because I think they're quite intriguing. This is going to be the best day of the PKC in my eyes, at least the most intriguing. Chelsea and River Rouge, two teams who had the seasons of their life the year before. Both teams made it to the state finals. Both teams weren't able to win a state championship. Chelsea in the D3 finals lost to Orchard Lake St. Mary's. That was their first finals ever. River Rouge got to the D5 finals for the first time ever, losing to Grand Rapids West Catholic, but beat Algonac and Ida in the playoffs. They had an amazing run. Both teams were 12-2 a year ago.
Well, like you said, they both had great seasons, but I also felt coming into last season, both Brad Bush and Corey Parker, the two coaches, Parker at Rouge, they thought this was going to be, we're going to be good, but we didn't know how good because they were young. They're going to have more experience this year. I think both teams will definitely be in the hunt again to get to the state finals, and what a way to kick off the season for both teams.
Yeah, it really should be an intriguing game. We're looking forward to it. The 3 o'clock game, Southfield Academy for the Arts and Technology. So this is Southfield High School now.
Combining Lathrop with Southfield
exactly.
High.
So Lathrop and Southfield are now one high school. They were 7-4 last year if you're looking at just what the Blue Jays did. But you can kind of throw out last year's record. It's going to be a whole reshuffling of the deck. Lost to Berkeley in the district finals. That was kind of a disappointing way for Southfield to go out a year ago. Detroit King, what can you say? Ran the table, 14-0, Division II state champs, did it in the most amazing way possible. This is a rematch of the playoffs from 2014.
Well, kudos to the PKC for getting these teams here, especially the PSL teams. They always seem to do a really good job. East English has been in the PKC before, and now you have King, the defending champs from Division II, go against the new Southfield school. Southfield was young last year, and granted, this is going to be mostly Southfield football players. Sure, they'll have an influx from the kids from Southfield later, but this will be mostly a Blue Jay team now playing as the Warriors. What a great matchup. I think Southfield's going to have a tremendous season.
Yeah, and if you remember, it was last year King beating De La Salle, the defending D2 state champ, to open up the PKC. If Southfield could pull off an upset right off the bat.
Yeah, they could maybe turn the tables on King.
Be a huge momentum shift, no question. The final game, the 6 p.m. game, and I think this one's going to be a lot better than what people may originally see when they see the matchup. Detroit Cass Tech, we know, a great team, a powerhouse, 11-3 a year ago, lost to Romeo in the D1 finals, but again, a tremendous season, tremendous program. And Oak Park, although 5-5 a year ago, lost to Southfield in the opener of the playoffs. They were able to get in with that 5-win season. They're going to be better, you think, this year?
Both Southfield last year and Oak Park were young teams. I think they only had about 10 seniors apiece. Both teams were kind of building towards this year. And also here, there's an influx of young talent at Oak Park. So there might be a good mix of the seniors that were juniors last year and some young kids coming in. And we don't have to say anything about Cass Tech. They're one of the top 5 programs every year.
Absolutely. So what you need to do is go to DetroitSports.org to get all the information on when tickets will be available. It is the 12th annual Prep Kickoff Classic taking place at Wayne State University. We're looking forward to it. I'm Lorne Plant. This is Tom Markowski. Thank you so much for watching.